Welcome back. Now, DStv has announced that its customers will soon pay more for their subscription, starting from April this year. The company asserts that they have strived to be fair in their package increases amidst rising costs and a weakening rand. And joining us to unpack this further is technology correspondent for Business Day, Mudiwa Gavaza. Mudiwa, always a pleasure and a good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Olutando.
Of course, we've spoken about multi-choice companies for a while. We focused on Showmax, but of course, DStv still remains here a huge revenue driver for this business. Let's just speak about whether South Africans are still keen on the service.
Well, it does seem as if for now, South Africans are still keen on the service. Companies like MultiChoice did well during the COVID-19 years. There was a huge demand, for entertainment. So you see the likes of MultiChoice in their pricing strategy. They're trying everything that they can, to try and, continue to meet the costs that they have, but to do it in such a way that consumers don't fall off. I think that's a very delicate balance, unfortunately, that they have to play with. And when you look at the level of increases that they are having, you can see that they have really tried, because you can imagine in an environment where the rand and, currencies like the naira are doing what they're doing, it's just tough out there. And at the same time, you have to be thinking about the fact of where on the totem pole of a person's basic needs does something like DStv fall. So you need to just make those price points attractive, or else people are just going to fall off.
And because of sports, I assume that's somewhere higher up than what I would think.
Funny enough, when it comes to the sport issue, that's probably one of the most interesting drivers when it comes to DStv, simply because the cost that MultiChoice has to pay for the sporting rights that make DStv so attractive, and I guess the consumers' demand for those sporting activities, once again, delicate balance, because consumers want sport, but that sport is coming at high cost for, a MultiChoice. And those sporting contracts that they are negotiating are in US dollars, are in euros, are in pounds. Think the English Premiership, think the recently held Rugby World Cup. All of those are international contracts. And if your rand has lost, almost 20% of its value over the last year, then you can start to see, the conundrum. The people want the sport, but your sport is costing so much to provide. So once again, another tough one.
I mean, with that said, it looks like they are getting creative. We're speaking of a 2-year subscription agreement now. What would that even look like, Mudiwa?
So MultiChoice has always had something under DStv called, before yesterday, they called it Price Lock. But yesterday, they announced a new name for the package. It's called Price Guarantee. And basically what that allows you to do is to become a subscriber, but you sign a 2-year contract. The biggest advantage of it is the fact that you get to pay 2024 prices all the way right through until 2026, because we do expect that DStv is going to put up their prices again next year. We saw increases last year. We've seen increases this year, and we know the situation when it comes to inflation. So chances are prices are set to rise again next year. So the advantage, at least what they're selling, is to say, come sign up a contract, do a 2-year contract, and then you can get yourself, you can save yourself from price increases in 2 years' time. You can obviously see why something like that would be attractive for DStv to promote, because yes, you might have a couple of subscribers in a year's time that don't participate in a increase, but at least you've locked in a certain number of customers for that period. So you don't necessarily worry about churn, about people dropping off, that type of thing. And to sort of sweeten the offer a little bit, they've also even said, because the price increases we're talking about are coming into effect in April, and part of the sweetener that they are offering is to say, if you you sign up for a 2-year contract now before the 1st of April, then they'll be offering, current prices, that will be available. I think, for the current one, $879 for DStv Premium, $399 for Compact. That's what you'll be able to get, as a deal. So you can see them, they're trying their best to make sure that they lock in people, that they keep people, and that they attract new people.
Of course, when we speak of something like DStv, it's paid TV, what might be called a cable. And of course, the big competitor here, like you said, is issues also of subscription services. But in my mind, it looks like those who appreciate everything DStv has to offer, from a local content perspective to the sports, Mudiwa, and maybe even some of the exclusive shows that you can only watch on that platform, would be keen to continue to pay for it. And that even though it might not enjoy the market share that it has, it is still a sustainable business model on the African continent. And I think, that is something worth investing in for MultiChoice still.
It certainly is still, worth investing in. And once again, we keep talking about the balance that they're striking. You can see that they are the biggest pay TV provider on the continent. So they've been able to figure out their formula when it comes to getting people to actually pay for TV content on the African continent. They are increasing prices for DStv, which is their normal broadcast subscription. But at the same time, I think you and I have spoken before about the fact that they have, kept prices the same and lowered some of the prices when it comes to streaming, right? So you've got this balance that they're talking about. A big thing that MultiChoice is banking on is scale. It's one of the big things that you keep hearing them talking about. And from a strategy point of view, where they are with their pricing strategy, where they are in terms of trying to lock customers in when it comes to the 2-year contracts, and also the pricing strategy on streaming, you can see they're trying to get as many people onto their platform as possible, because the more people you have on a platform like this, because it's a technology platform at the end of the day, the lower your costs end up being. So it's a game of scale at the end of the day. So we certainly hope that from a sustainability point of view, MultiChoice will be able to continue to have a viable business model.
Sounds like the word Canal Plus used there, that word of scale, Mudiwa. Thank you for your time. It's always a pleasure hearing from you. That was technology correspondent for Business Today, Mudiwa Gavaza.